20 questions a man should never ask a woman and the reason why. Number 1, can I kiss you? It is generally not a good idea to ask her this question before going in for the kiss. Assuming you're on a date and the circumstances are right, it is less square to just go for it. Why? First off, there are plenty of ways to test the water before vocalizing your request. Raise your hand to her cheek and brush her hair out of her face. If she pulls back a bit from your touch, you know that this move is a no-go. Secondly, asking for a kiss isn't necessarily wrong by itself, but it puts you at risk for sacrificing masculine frame. For the best results, make sure to test the water with some innocuous flirting and touching. Then go in for the smooth move when her body language has given you the green light. Second question, why won't you talk to me? Post-commitment, this isn't such a bad question when posed within the context of you holding masculine frame and checking on her out of a sense of care, responsibility, and boundaries within the relationship, and not out of insecurity. But pre-commitment, this question puts you at a risk of sounding desperate and clingy, neither of which are attractive masculine traits. Concentrate on pursuing your own purpose in life and not caring as much if a woman doesn't want to or want to talk to you. A better question to ask would be, you seem quiet today, is everything okay? The third question, you look different today. Why is that? If this is meant to be a compliment to acknowledge something new that she has done, like getting a haircut, then you may be able to pull it off in a teasing, mischievous fashion. But if it is meant as a neg or a put down, it is likely isn't a good idea. Whether she does or doesn't look different, this question lacks tact and doesn't really go anywhere meaningful. A better question to ask would be something like, I like that dress. Is it new? The fourth question would be, you're looking tired today. Didn't you get a good night's rest? Calling out a lady's tired look, even if she does look tired, may hurt her feelings and make her feel like you see her unattractive. Instead, consider an alternative question. I've been looking forward to catching up with you. Tell me how your last few days have been. The fifth question, I know you've got a boyfriend, but can we be friends? If you truly just want to be friends, then there's nothing wrong with this question. Yes, it will make you seem less attractive. But if all you want is friendship, then that shouldn't matter to you anyway. But if you have ulterior motive, that is, you actually want to knock her, then just skip it. Here's the thing. A high-value man doesn't ask people to be his friends. He naturally attracts friends by being awesome, likable, and a winner. The sixth question, how old are you? This isn't such a bad question to ask a woman who looks to be under 25 to 27 as long as she is younger than you. But if you ask a 30 to 40 plus years old this question, you may run the risk of making her feel a bit self-conscious. It may be better to let this one sit till you get to know each other better. The seventh question, I don't know, what do you want to do? Every girl wants a guy who will be the man and lead with decision. As the man, the ball is in your court to make a plan. You can ask her if she has a preference. Do you prefer movies or concerts? But never ultimately put the decision of what to do onto her. It will make you look weak, disorganized, and pathetic, none of which are attractive traits. The eighth question, is that what you're going to wear tonight? Implication, that looks terrible. What were you thinking? Unless your girl is completely off the mark for dress code. This is a risky line to take, guys. If you feel like you need to correct her fashion choices, you should probably cut her loose and cut a woman who is more in line with your fashion sense. The ninth question, are you pregnant? This is a risky one because if probably she is not pregnant, you just called her fat. Best way to handle this one, just write it out and don't mention anything. If she doesn't bring it up, you can casually bring up a conversation about your thoughts on having children in the future. If she still doesn't mention it and you're not fond of the way she looks, it is probably best to move on and date someone else. The 10th question, how many guys have you been with? I am not a very huge fan of this question because asking it out of a specific context can put you at risk of looking jealous and insecure, which is a massive turnoff and a low value marker. There is one caveat, however, if she asks you the question first, it is a fair game to reverse it. The 11th question, is your sister attractive? This is a risky question. For women, competing for the attention of a dating partner with a sibling feels far worse than competing with a complete stranger. It just hits closer to home in every way imaginable. Whether you're pre-commitment or post-commitment, stay out of this territory unless you're willing to risk complete disaster. The 12th question, are you on your period? This is a dangerous question to ask because in her mind, it implies that you're asking her if she is available for knacking, which puts you at risk of sounding desperate and low value, trying to secure the prize through agreement ahead of time instead of just making your move. It is also crass and insensitive. What you should do instead, carry on and make your move as usual. If she informs you that she can't because she is on her period, tell her you don't mind. If you don't, but be understanding is the right move on your part. The 13th question, can I borrow some money? How to turn a girl off in 5 words. Women seek providers, not parasites. The 14th question, do you think I'm attractive? Asking this question makes it sound like you aren't confident, so it is a risky one. If she's spending time with you and engaging with you, assume she is into you. Don't worry, she'll bolt soon enough if she isn't. The 15th question, how much do you weigh? Either you like how she looks or you don't. There is really no reason that a man would ask this one. The 16th question, why do you like raising a piece of cloth or pointing at a piece of clothes or a particular cloth? I am not a big fan of this question because even if it meant well, you run the risk of sounding judgmental. Instead, ask something like this. I like that dress. Do you feel like the style matches your personality? The 17th question, are you in love with me? This question puts you in dangerous territory. You run a serious risk of sounding low value and desperate. Always leave the L word and or bringing up the commitment talk to her to talk about it first. Once she brings it up to you, you can decide if you're ready for it or not. The 18th question, why are you friends with? You call a guy's name. This question puts you at a serious risk of sounding jealous and insecure, both of which are serious low value markers. As a strong masculine man, you shouldn't be threatened by other men in her life. This woman is either into you or she isn't. You can either trust her or you can't. If you don't like her friends, feel like you can't trust her, or just don't like how she interacts with other men in general, bail and find a different woman to date. Don't ever try to come between a woman and her friends or control how she interacts with them. On the same token, if you don't like her friends, you have every right to hit the road and not feel guilty about it. The 19th question, why are you single? This is an interesting question because it is almost okay but not quite. It can make the conversation sound more like interrogation or conversation. Instead, phrase it like this. And by the way, this is a question that you should always ask when you meet someone new. So tell me about your relationship history. What kind of dating and relationship experiences have you had? A high-value woman won't mind talking about her relationship history in the slightest, as long as you're willing to return the favor. Red flag warning. If everything she has to say about her exes is negative, they were toxic, they were abusive, they were all pieces of crap, etc., etc., then head for the hills. Odds are very good that those men were not all bad. The common denominator is likely her. The 20th question. Are you really going to eat that? Unless this is said in a playful way, hold off on the food judgment. Instead, ask a question like this. Wow, that food looks exotic or rugged or spicy. Sorry guys, the light went off and this is late night. As I was saying, wow, that dish looks exotic, rugged, spicy. Depends on the line that you want to use. Have you ever had it before, or is this a new experiment? Conclusion. When it comes to many of the aforementioned questions, context is the key. If you're maintaining a strong masculine frame, have a good rapport with the girl, or are in a relationship already, you may be able to get away with a few of them. Here comes the end of the video. If you have any other question that you feel doesn't seem right to ask a girl, if you're a girl and you feel like there are questions that guys ask that annoys you, you can leave it down below in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel if you've not yet subscribed. Follow me on my social media handles via graciousobiagwu_. I'm going to see you next time in my next video. Bye.